The 2020 NISA Fall Tournament Championship rolls on with game number 2 of the night from Keyworth Stadium. One spot still up for grabs in the semifinal round from Group A. Detroit City FC looking for back-to-back wins after a strong showing from Yazid Matthews and Shawn-Claud Lawson, and a very impressive win over the Oakland Roots on Thursday. But New Amsterdam FC will hope to play spoiler as they played the Michigan Stars to a draw with goals from Danny Vicente and Michael Bello on Thursday, and Michael Bello hoping to dance his way into a surprise semifinal appearance. It's the final game of Group A tonight at Keyworth Stadium between Detroit City and New Amsterdam. How did we get here? Detroit City loses the Motown Derby to open things up, but then that win over the Oakland Roots on Thursday 2-1. On the other side, New Amsterdam really struggled to open this thing up, but got a nice draw 2-2 against the Michigan Stars on Thursday night. And here we are alongside the former MLS goalkeeper, Andy Greenebaum. I'm Chucky Kempf. And Andy, Detroit City, a win and they're through. It's that simple. So what's it going to take from them?
Well, I think they need to establish themselves early. I think it's going to take a lot for New Amsterdam to get into the next round. So they're going to really press the game. So really controlling that emotion early.
New Amsterdam, really a squad with nothing to lose. It would take a win and +5 on the goal differential to get them through the semifinals. So how dangerous does it make a team with nothing to lose?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to touch on the keys for them, but you do have to be clinical in your chances. You may not get 5 chances in a game like this, so you're going to have to really press the tempo, push numbers up, but then stay organized in defense.
New Amsterdam FC looking to leave with something. They could play spoiler tonight, but Detroit City FC, coming off a very impressive win, they'll look to punch their ticket to the semifinal next. Back at Keyworth Stadium, Detroit City FC, New Amsterdam FC. Group A finishes right Now at the NISA Fall Tournament Championship, we take a look at our starting lineup for Detroit City, brought to you by DMC. Some goal scorers in there. We talked about Matthews and Shawn-Claud Lawson. Lawson will come off the bench, but Fillerman in there as well. He's been impactful for them.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's Carroll at the back line that, you know, one of their leaders. I'm going to be really watching to make sure, see how they stay organized and deal with the pressure that New Amsterdam's going to put on them.
Starting lineup for New Amsterdam, presented by Fruit Street. And on that side, a team who is looking to find ways to put the ball in the back of the net. They netted 2 on Thursday night in that draw, but how can they get things going? Michael Bello will come off the bench. He was one of their goal scorers in that game. What do you look for out of this formation?
Well, really for me, they're going to be pushing so many numbers forward. It's the space in the middle of the midfield as they attack. When the ball turns over, how are they handling that space? That's what I'm going to be looking for.
And we will find out in just moments. The NISA Fall Tournament Championship, Detroit City FC, a win, and they're through to the semifinals. It's coming up next. Back at Keyworth Stadium on BN Sports, the NISA Fall Tournament Championship, Detroit City FC, New Amsterdam FC, as we get set for our keys to the match. Starting with Detroit City FC, presented by Stroh's. What are you looking for out of them?
Well, like it says, stay organized. I think they need to establish their brand early, make sure that they don't give New Amsterdam any hope early on.
New Amsterdam keys to the match, presented by Foosball. And for them, well, they need goals.
they need to take advantage, be clinical in their finishing, and then, like we talked about a little bit, they need to actively defend as they push numbers forward, not allowing any cheap counterattacks just from a spacing standpoint.
Mohamed Keita in net for New Amsterdam. In a game like this, I'm sure you've been in situations like this where you need goals. If it's not the entire game, maybe just late in the game where your team's down. Is this a stressful game in net?
Well, you just have to make sure you're alert. Really and truthfully, the ball over the top on the counter, making sure you're connected to that back line, making sure that you're organized. See if you can stop anything from happening before it happens. Make your job easiest.
This Group A has been really interesting. Group B follows suit tomorrow, and they will finish up. But you look at it coming into this final day, New Amsterdam would have needed a lot to happen, but the simple fact is that anyone has a chance to get through. On the other side, Detroit City looking for a win. It's pretty simple. Michigan had a chance to kind of right their own ship with a draw or a win getting in. They took a loss, so now they'll be rooting for New Amsterdam to beat their rivals. But Detroit City FC, this is what they need. A win simply puts you through, or a draw, and then, of course, a win puts you through. The Michigan Stars, a draw or a New Amsterdam win by 4 or less. So New Amsterdam, obviously, they've got the tallest task to get through, which would be winning by 5 or more. And that would be something we do not expect to see against a pretty solid Detroit City side. But a win for them. They control their own destiny. It's all you can ask for.
Right, and, you know, you just play a little bit looser. When you know you need 5, maybe you just throw caution to the wind. Obviously, push numbers high up and just see what happens.
It should be, at the very least, an exciting game from that standpoint if New Amsterdam really does try to open things up and get after it. Detroit City's going to have some chances in behind to put the ball in the net, but a New Amsterdam side that really struggled out of the gates and then bounced back with a 2-2 draw to the Michigan Stars, who beat Detroit City in the Motown Derby to open things up. Take a look at Gonzalo Moreno Sanchez, New Amsterdam's head coach, trying to get the most out of his guys on what could be the end of their fall tournament championship. Trevor James on the other side. You talk about a guy who has been there and done that. Trevor James has been all over the world. He's coached and scouted time at Ipswich Town, Colchester United, Newcastle, Porto, Barcelona, among others. The assistant coach for the LA Galaxy from 2006 to 2010, and then a year with the Portland Timbers as well. This is a guy who knows his stuff.
Right, and I think he'd be the first to tell you, if you concede 5 to anybody, you probably don't deserve to move on to the next round. So I don't expect to see that. I expect this team to be a little bit more organized than that.
Just about set for kickoff here at Keyworth Stadium. This is the home stadium for Detroit City, so this is a place they are very comfortable, and we are underway. New Amsterdam sends it forward, and a throw in for Detroit City here at midfield. Venegas throwing it in. New Amsterdam just clears it deep, and we've seen the ball. I think some of these teams, Detroit City, not going to have the same issues because they're used to it, but this turf creates a lot of big bounces. If you let the ball get down, it can kind of make things interesting.
Right, and nowadays most people play on a lot of turf fields. You know, usually at this level as well, there's tons of turf fields. Kids grow up on these turf fields. It's different than it was, so a lot of these players are used to it. It just depends on, is the turf decent or not, right? What's the padding like? And also, from my understanding, talking to a few goalkeepers, this ball moves a little bit differently than they're used to as well.
Vicente runs that down and keeps it in. Plays it back to his keeper, Keita. Ahmed Keita goes by Mo. Oh, an early chance here for Detroit City. Back to Keita, he'll clear. Venegas pulls it down. New Amsterdam down the right flank. Trying to let his keeper come get it. A little bit of some contact.
Right, a very deep starting position for that man. Made it a little bit more difficult, but you make that call, you see the defender fend off the attacking player, you better come.
John Anton in net. Flag is raised. Looked too good to be true for Yazid Matthews. Tonight's head ref, Joshua Apps. We'll see. This first game of the night got pretty physical toward the end, and referee's job gets a little bit harder in those types of games.
Right, and we were talking, you know, off camera a little bit just about how this game, if it does get out of hand for New Amsterdam, if they do concede, knowing the goal differential, you don't know what you're going to get out of that group. A frustrated group that knows they have nothing to play for. It could get ugly as well.
On the flip side, I think if you ask Detroit City, they'll go ahead and they'll take the ugly game and try to avoid any
big contact if it means they're moving forward.
Well, and you also want a little bit of you don't want to back into it, right?
Yeah.
You want some confidence. You want to play well. Obviously, this tournament is hosted in their stadium, which, when fans are allowed, is pretty raucous from what I hear.
Down the sideline. Nice play defensively over there by Tendai Jadija. Jadida defending again. This cross a little bit too far, but tracked down on this near sideline. McKenzie splits a couple defenders. Tries to lay one through, but taken away. Bakey Goodman out to the left side. Detroit City looking to build something here.
When you see New Amsterdam pressing high up the field, throwing numbers forward like we expected.
The situation they're in, you talked about it in the first game, how you would always break the games down
in 15s, yeah. That's the way I don't know when I started to think about it that way. I know a lot of people think about the game in different ways, but for me, just to stay focused, all right, it's a new 15. Obviously, this first 15 can be a feeling out process, and New Amsterdam, we talked about how many goals they need. They're going to throw numbers forward, and I think just taking that initial punch for Detroit City might be what they need, and then maybe a counterattack on the other end.
Here's the standings entering our final game of Group A. You see the Oakland Roots have punched their ticket. Detroit needs a win. A draw would put them at 4 points, but the goal differential not in their favor. So it has to be a win for Detroit City. And you can bet the Michigan Stars are looking on right now, rooting for New Amsterdam to, at the least, hold a draw. Not a lot of love lost between those two teams in the first place anyway, so they would, Michigan Stars would probably be rooting for a Detroit City loss regardless. New Amsterdam playing a little possession here. Back to Nadonner. Now Keita. Some pressure on Keita, and could be trouble right here. Yazid Matthews into the box, has a chance around the keeper. Oh, and he kind of stumbled. The ball got caught up between his legs. And New Amsterdam really got away with one there.
Yeah, very lucky. Just a poor first touch by the goalkeeper that leads up. You can tell he's not favoring that left foot.
Another chance. Curls one off the back post. Chances coming hot and heavy right now in the 7th minute.
And it's New Amsterdam that needs to weather this. Just some costly mistakes, but once again, it started from just that playing out of the back, lazy touch, puts it on his left foot instead of maybe playing early. Ooh.
Oh, he just came out of the box with the ball. That's going to be a penalty.
Well, it'll be... Let's see what happened. Yeah, obviously, the initial action looked like Vicente went through the goalkeeper, and I thought a foul would be called, but yeah, let's take another look at this. Just sloppy out of the back on 2 different occasions. And when you're building, you know, you're spread out a little bit. So you establish possession and then you give the ball away. Those chances are going to come.
So on the other side, a free kick. Whipped in. Oh, it's a nice save on the backside by Antone. And now Detroit City a chance to break. Good job defensively to slow that down by Carlton McKenzie. Nice save by Antone here.
Yeah, this goes just right in between their heads. I think he can maybe catch that. I think he sees it with enough time. He parries it, it's not in the most dangerous spot on the rebound, and Detroit City players are around to clean it up. But yeah, that wall just getting split right between their heads, really.
Dangerous spot for that free kick, and the goalie just slid right out of the box with the ball in his hands. And an exciting first 8.5 minutes. Dummies it to nobody.
Yeah, the run just wasn't established yet.
Tell you what I like about this second game is the jersey colors and the numbers. We get a nice little nice contrast between those.
The nighttime, right, as well.
Under the lights, playing for a spot in the semifinals. Love the openness of a game like this.
Right, good possession bout here from Detroit City.
Chance, oh, off the volley! Kevin Venegas, perfectly struck. Falls right to him, and he makes it count. Detroit City takes a 1-0 lead.
I was just about to say, these are the spots on the field that New Amsterdam has looked the shakiest at their back line. Just a missed clearance there, and goalkeeper's in no man's land, not set. I don't know what they're expecting the referee to call an offside, but clearly, you know, in these situations, you play until you hear a whistle. I know that's cliche. You've heard it a million times. That clearance, I don't know what they're asking.
No.
Have no idea what they're asking, but the goalkeeper's in no man's land and everyone's just watching.
10th minute strike from Kevin Venegas. First goal of the tournament.
I mean, if the goalkeeper's just on his line where he probably should be, he just picks that ball up casually and starts a counter.
Now New Amsterdam's task becomes even taller, and Detroit City in the driver's seat. This is the result they need, but certainly they'll be looking for more to make themselves a little more comfortable. Carlton McKenzie down the left side, into the box, trying to cross it in. He goes down, and a goal kick.
That ain't gonna happen. You're not gonna get that call. And as you touched on, their task becomes much more difficult. Huge hill to climb. It ain't gonna happen, in my opinion. I mean, I don't have a crystal ball, but just some sloppy early action from New Amsterdam. Detroit just needs to maintain their composure and not give up anything silly.
Talked a little bit about it in the first game, but the fitness levels of these players, 3 games in about a 6-day window, and both of these managers, including Trevor James, said, you know, we feel good about the busy week of games because our training schedule and the way we train is already so intense anyway, so we like, you know, our ability to be ready to go for a really tough week of games.
Now, I remember, you know, there's a lot of stretches. You have Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday games, and training just becomes about regen, really, for the players. You know, the players that aren't playing their training sessions are a little bit more intense, but you almost get in this rhythm of just playing games. It's actually quite comfortable sometimes.
Another chance for Detroit City, lays it off. Right side of the box, looking for 2. Oh, just wide left. Trying to get one past Kaita again.
Yeah, I don't know if he was looking to cut that ball back, but the goalkeeper was leaning to his left. Really should have, what you're looking to do for a striker here is put it low to the far post, make the goalkeeper make a save, and usually it'll spill in the midline, and he just misses the frame. I think he was trying to cut the ball back. But test the goalkeeper. We clearly have seen a little bit of shaky play out of him so far.
Couple chances for Yazid Matthews, the South African native, early in this one, and I think he's going to have more.
That's okay.
Corner given.
Let's go. Hey, let's go, man. Lift your heads up. Come on. You have that?
Some encouragement from the New Amsterdam sideline, and Gonzalo Marino Sanchez talked about the mental focus that it takes in these types of games and against this type of competition to stay in it. They need more focus, and we've not seen that early on. Detroit City looking for a lot of chances. Good ball inside. Oh, back heel, that's pretty. That is pretty. Michael Kafari finishes it off on a great bit of play there from Detroit City.
That actually really was nice. I mean, the angle was poor. This is a great little layoff, but watch, that's Kafari that lays the ball off, but he just continues his run. Great inside out run there, and great composure. That's a terrible shooting angle. So to have that vision to lay that ball off to Kafari is just quality.
And 2-0 Detroit City. As they are off to a fantastic start. You talked about the 15-minute segments. How would you grade this one for New Amsterdam?
Obviously, dream scenario for them. They just have too much quality on the field for this. Well, for New Amsterdam, obviously, it's not a dream scenario, but yeah, Detroit City just has too much quality for this New Amsterdam team, and they're actually playing like they need 5 goals.
Well, the rate they're at, they're going to have themselves in a really comfortable position by halftime. Nice defensive play there to cut that move down. Oh, now New Amsterdam into the box, a chance, but keeper takes care of it, Jean Anton.
Yeah, great individual effort there, but goalkeeper quick off his line, reads the touch well, closes down very well, comfortable in the end.
A plea for offside on the field.
I always laugh, like, I've never seen a referee change his mind, his or her mind, right? But you can obviously make suggestions.
Detroit City came out. We talked about the feeling out process between teams. These two did meet in the shortened fall season. Detroit City won the matchup 3-0 over New Amsterdam. Connor Rutz and Shawn-Claud Lawson scoring in that game. Rutz had 2.
Yeah, that's a player that pops on film. Just scouting these teams, right? It's a quality player. I mean, Detroit City has some great players, and obviously it's not a good turnover there, but
the Detroit City came out and they kind of weathered a little bit, let New Amsterdam have a little possession, see where they could make their mark, and they found a couple spots and they really took advantage. Wise move to let that roll. He was offside. Goal scorers Venegas in the 10th minute on a wonderful volley. It's Detroit City, another chance here. And then it was Michael Kafari with his first goal of the week. Boise, Idaho native.
Yeah, if I'm Detroit City, anytime the ball goes to their backs, obviously sometimes you want to set a lower line and rest, but I'm looking for these opportunities to nip one. It's been an adventure playing out for them.
Looking down the sideline, displayed a bit there by Kafari, but really no threat. Plays it back to his keeper. Miscommunication. A little sloppy right now from New Amsterdam, and you have to wonder mentally where they're at right now, knowing that their chances of a semifinal are pretty much gone, and maybe were before this night started.
Well, and you know, now it's really an opportunity to get some film on yourself, right? I mean, have some personal pride. You never know who's watching these games. Opportunities are out there. These players are fighting for their jobs as well.
I don't know the next time you're going to step on a competitive field.
Right.
Spring season a ways away right now.
Absolutely.
Detroit City looking to extend their week. Semifinals begin on Wednesday. Detroit City would, or excuse me, the winner of Group A would play the second place team of Group B and vice versa. Some of these teams have seen each other in that shortened fall season. I mentioned these two have already played, so there are some matchups you could see some familiarity.
Yeah, but as we talked about in the previous game, you know, some of these players have come and gone, right? So there's some new blood in the mix. Some guys get in, you know, a couple weeks and are playing games.
Another chance, and offside flag is raised. I don't think Matthews was off.
That's what I was just about to hint at.
But that was James Fillerman, and he was off. Detroit City looks really good early on.
Yeah, very composed, good bouts of possession, mixed in with some, you know, direct play with a purpose, though.
It's one thing to play a team that's struggling right now and to have opportunities. It's another thing to actually capitalize on those opportunities and get the job done, which they have so far.
Right, and a really good team goal as well for the second one through Kafari.
Has your opinion of a good soccer match changed as you have retired from in the net? You like goals now more than you probably used to, I'm sure.
You know, just anything that kind of gets a pulse going, right? I mean, yeah. I don't mind seeing goals, but my eye automatically goes to the goalkeepers. Fully admit that. You know, I scout goalkeeper play all over, you know, from professional games to youth soccer, just to show my goalkeepers that I work with. And that in the interaction with the back line. I think we talked about this in the first game, but being able to hear these players, hear the goalkeepers, hear the back line, you know, communicate with each other, it's a great thing.
Do you have a goalie in the pro ranks, maybe the MLS, in Europe somewhere or anywhere that you show your young goalies very often that you really like what they do?
Well, obviously, locally, Tim Melia for Sporting Kansas City, but yeah, I mean, there's plenty of great goalkeeping in the MLS and all over the world. It's obvious most kids watch, you know, EPL matches but you know, they're not as in tune with MLS clubs. So not only that, but working with the university and you know, local university, I'll just plug them again, Baker University here, gives the youth goalkeepers a chance to really scout and watch those guys play, those guys and gals play as well.
Free kick given to Detroit City. Chucky Kemp and Andy Greenebaum along for the call. Kevin Shank directing and producing. Nate Bucati and Jacob Peterson back on, they're back tomorrow to finish up Group B play. And on from that point, semifinals and championship later this week. New Amsterdam a chance here. Things open up down the left side. It's the other foul called. I think it's going to go against Matthews. That's one other thing that when New Amsterdam has been in the attacking area, Detroit City, when they've won possession back, have been really calm at kind of distributing that around and clearing.
Right, and New Amsterdam, just when they're in the final third, just maybe trying to do a little bit too much from an individual standpoint, instead of maybe playing a simple ball, trying to dribble through. A couple creative players up top for them. Sometimes you get, you know, you're pressing, trying to do too much.
Hear both sides barking orders. It'll be a throw-in for New Amsterdam. Oh no, they'll give it to Detroit City. Has to be a bad feeling if you're the Michigan Stars right now watching this unfold and knowing that you most likely have played your last game in the NISA Fall Tournament Championship.
Right, yeah, I mean, I think it was to be expected, but you just never know in these types of matches. But we talked about early on Detroit City establishing themselves, and they've done that. First 15 minutes, they set the tempo for the game.
They'd love to add another one before halftime and really put this in the balance. Nice tackle to win it back. New Amsterdam looking to break. It's a big divide from New Amsterdam trying to move the ball down the field, and you just saw it there. There's just really weren't a lot of options for them to distribute to.
Oh, and that's what Detroit City's trying to do, is just make it predictable, make play predictable, clog the middle. You can see, you know, players up top for New Amsterdam dropping off the front line, trying to get the ball, but there's no gaps to play through. So they're doing a great job of taking away passing lanes, and eventually it'll end up being a long ball.
Comes Detroit City. Just really patient. Haven't forced anything on their attack. Great settle in the middle of the field by Martin Williams.
That's where the ball should have gone originally. His touch takes him away from that spot, but just having the vision, ball comes in, out, play down that wing where it was on, but just took too long.
Detroit City runner, do they see him? They do, and Kaita will let it roll in and play it with his feet.
Yeah, good spacing there from the goalkeeper, making sure that he's able to come anything over the top there, protect that back line.
Really, for New Amsterdam, and obviously they have to, but it's pretty much two guys back to defend. That's all you've got.
Right, and they've really shot themselves in the foot with little turnovers like that. Just silly things in possession.
Detroit City FC have played their home games at Keyworth Stadium since 2016. Ibrahim Kante. Flag is raised and Venegas is offside.
Now we talk about wide players being able to see the line, not being in an offside position.
Carlton McKenzie's been one of the lone bright spots early on for this New Amsterdam team. Made a couple nice attacking moves, but just hasn't really had any options down there. Hasn't been afraid to take defenders on. Williams looking for McKenzie, but they throw in instead. McKenzie again, and a free kick given. So a chance here for New Amsterdam. Carlton McKenzie went to Seton Hall. He's from the UK.
Yeah, really shifty player. He's had a couple moments. Just his hip movement alone can be tricky. His set piece there goes wasted.
So Detroit City, if everything holds and they do advance, we'll have Monday, Tuesday off, chance to recharge, but pretty quick turnaround for a semifinal match on Wednesday. And you talk about the games coming in succession, you don't get much of a break for that semifinal either, and it's going to get even tougher.
Well, and sometimes you don't want to lose the rhythm, especially when you're playing well. Detroit City playing very well. Talked about not backing into a spot at the next round. They certainly aren't. So making sure you just have a rhythm, and sometimes taking you out of that rhythm with more rest is trouble.
How about that from McKenzie? Gets it back, and Antone struggles with it for a second, but McKenzie went to the ground, keeps it. Nice little through ball, gets it back, and didn't quite have the class to finish it.
Yeah, first real, and it comes from something like that, but great individual effort there to get back up, really shifty like we talked about. Good little slip in, no one follows him, and that's a tough ball to open up your hips and really get much on, but he does well.
He's an impressive player. He's been really good.
For sure.
Early on.
Good to see his signs of life, make this a game.
And here he is again. McKenzie gonna try and bend one across. Falls nicely and knocked away for a corner.
Yeah, New Amsterdam, much better from them. Starting with McKenzie, obviously. Here you just want to make sure that you have numbers there. Don't let him cut in. Don't let. I think it's too easy to get that serve in. Overplay it. Force him down the line where you have a little bit of help that can close.
Chance off a corner, 31st minute. Oh, batted around a little bit. Tries to bike it in, and it's going to be cleared by Detroit City. It's a little burst here the last few minutes from New Amsterdam as they try to get one back. Can you find enough motivation in playing spoiler? I mean, is that enough for a team to get up and try to get back into this?
I don't know if New Amsterdam's thinking let's spoil Detroit City, right? I mean, like from that standpoint, I think from a pride standpoint, I think they're showing some, right? Their individual standpoint, you want to flash on film in these moments, right? This is every time you step on the field, it's a chance to prove to yourself and everybody else that you can play.
New Amsterdam again on the attack. Nice tackle right there from Stephen Carroll. You highlighted him in the starting lineups. Now Detroit City breaking again. They've got numbers. Flag stays down. Max Todd, an opening, back post, and it's just wide. Yasid Matthews was in the area.
Yeah, it's a really dangerous opportunity. I thought centrally could have been a little bit more patient, but he springs him here. And watch the weight of the goalkeeper as this ball is struck. He gets really tall. He can't move. So right there, he gets wide and tall. You can't move. So if that's even on frame, it's not really hit very hard, right? But that's in the back of the net.
Max Todd from Edinburgh, Scotland.
Yeah, I thought Matthews could have just been a little bit more patient before he sprung that ball wide, but dangerous opportunity nonetheless.
And they will have more. We've seen that a handful of times.
You said it, especially as New Amsterdam pushes numbers forward, there's going to be opportunity.
First, probably 25, 26 minutes really belonged to Detroit City. New Amsterdam, a few minutes in there where they were really on the attack, showing some promise, had a couple looks. Now Detroit City tries to settle back into the last 11 minutes of this first half.
And they really need to get back to being composed on the ball and combining, enjoy the game a little bit in possession.
You gotta go now, you gotta go.
Yeah, it's an easy foul right there.
That all starts, though, with another adventure playing out of the back, a missed hit.
Stephen Carroll, the Cork, Ireland native, talked in the first game about how players from all over the world have found their way to NISA. A league that is really on the rise. Their commissioner, John Prutch, and Josh Prutch, Executive Vice President of Expansion, talked earlier in a press conference about how COVID has certainly altered things in the season, spring and fall, but overall they felt like they've had a chance to really review some things and are excited about the expansion that they're hoping to continue building on.
Yeah, I spoke with Carlos Mendez, the head coach of the Cosmos, who was a teammate of mine and a good buddy. And this COVID thing was the worst thing to happen to this league as far as that momentum goes. But like you said, I think there's some promise, there's some hope there that this league could turn into something bigger.
I need three. I need three.
Spring season was cut short. Played a few games. Some teams played 4, some teams played 2 in August, September leading up to this Fall Championship Tournament. They feel like they've made some great strides even through the pandemic and are expecting a lot more things to come and to be announced over the next few months from the league.
It's a good ball in, and just a slightly missed header there, and some choice languages. Once again, when you hear, like we talked about, when you can hear the players, you're going to hear some things. But another dangerous opportunity for New Amsterdam.
Apologize for any language bleeding through. Obviously, the COVID-19 impacting the fan attendance. Detroit City, a team that draws well here at their home stadium. Michael Kafari down on the sideline.
Yeah, I don't know how much he took there, but certainly enough. Take another look. Kafari just tries to turn out of pressure. I don't know. I like the idea, though, from Kafari there.
Taken care of. Now Detroit City down toward the corner looking for something here. We've seen some mistakes from New Amsterdam, so you see Detroit City really not giving up on anything because some of their chances have come off of just little mistakes from New Amsterdam. McKenzie chips it in, cleared away. Not out of the woods yet. Riesco.
Yeah, McKenzie whipping that ball in with the outside of his right. He's been busy on that left flank. Right-footed player that can come cut inside. very important as a defender to keep that in mind and make sure that you shift, force him on his left foot.
You can hear the communication there, telling Max Todd to force him back. No fouls. Detroit City has New Amsterdam retreating. Looking for options back here. Some pressure on Kaita now. Big hop off the turf. Be a throw in for Detroit City.
Yeah, but that's exactly what they wanted. Just keep forcing the ball negative, and then wait for that mistake to pounce on. Just mistimed the header there, but it's there. Ooh.
And a throw-in. What do you think?
Thought initially it looked like a foul. He took a touch and just laid a shoulder into him, but once again, you're not going to change the referee's mind.
Detroit City taking their time, just 5 minutes and stoppage time to play here in the first half. What has been a very good first half for Detroit City, and as it stands, they will be through to the semifinal. Obviously 45 minutes to play. We've seen some moments from New Amsterdam. Now can they string it together for another 45 and maybe make this interesting in the second half? We'll see.
Yeah, very important. Detroit City just sees this out. New Amsterdam would love to get one before the half, build that momentum. We obviously don't think that they're going to cover the point spread that they need, right? The goal differential, but just to build on.
Chance for Detroit City. They've got numbers, all great defensive play to stop that. I think it was, may have been Bedoya back there. Todd lays it off for Conte. Now Todd looking for it back, a little contact from behind. He wasn't able to corral that. Now trying to clear, just a couple mistakes right there, almost some panic from New Amsterdam at times.
Yeah, decent build up by Detroit City, but in the end, nothing to show for.
Didn't really have any numbers there. No real options on the right flank.
Well, just a poorly served ball. Knows it as well, but you're right. You have to, especially when you see it's an obvious crossing opportunity from a wide area, got to have numbers in the box.
It's Tommy Yorston working out there for New Amsterdam. I think that was the Irishman.
God, I love that.
Calling out shots.
Accents are great, man.
Maybe a little knock there for Danny Bedoya. New Amsterdam looking to strike late in the second half. Oh, nice little play there, but lost his footing up top, and so really couldn't make anything happen. Donner. In the box, and nice save from Anton.
Silly from Detroit City this late in the first half to give up that kind of space in that area.
Now they're on the break right back.
It's a dangerous chance out of not a whole lot either.
Out of play for a throw-in. Under kind of changes we might see in this one, really from both sides. Michael Bello on the bench for New Amsterdam, one of their goal scorers from their 2-2 draw. On the other side, Shawn-Claud Lawson, the Canadian, has a goal. He's only played in 37 minutes this week off the bench. Connor Rutz also on that Detroit City bench. They're going to have some chances. I mean, there are going to be more goal-scoring opportunities for Detroit City as New Amsterdam continues to press higher, looking for goals to try and get back in this one.
Yeah, with how busy Connor Rutz is, it'd be hard to imagine him not coming on and making an impact at some point.
There's a flag raised, easy one against Max Todd there, who was offside.
Yeah, I don't know if he even had a look there, but it's pretty obvious he's about 35 yards off there.
Carlton McKenzie. Detroit City 2, New Amsterdam nothing. 1 minute of stoppage time is brought to you by Fruit Street. Detroit City will be happy to see this minute tick by, get into halftime, and
could easily be 2-2, but also could easily be 4-2, really.
Yeah. You're right, we could have a lot more goals. New Amsterdam, they've had a couple real chances. Detroit City certainly have had a few more. We expect them, both teams, to have plenty more in the second half. Nice job defensively there to press that line.
Yeah, but the AR's got to let play go there, because the player that dribbled through could have maintained possession himself. You just see that high line. They're just waiting for those guys to make that run offside, but I think you got to let that play go.
There's your halftime whistle as Detroit City 2, New Amsterdam nothing. Venegas in the 10th minute opened things up, and then Michael Kafari makes it 2-0 Detroit City on the right track for the semifinals.
Tonight's halftime is presented by Metro Detroit Chevy Dealers. Detroit City leading New Amsterdam 2-0 here at halftime. Jumped out with 2 goals before the 20th minute. As we welcome you inside alongside Andy Greenbaum, I'm Chucky Kempf, and well, impressive from Detroit City. We talked about it. It's one thing to, have those mistakes happen for you, but you have to capitalize. You have to make it count, and they did.
Right, and a very, very pretty goal as well for the second one, but just too many turnovers at the back for New Amsterdam. Very sloppy building out, and I think just feasting off those opportunities. But on the other end, New Amsterdam could have had a couple as well.
For Detroit City, almost nothing changes. I mean, the way that they played that first half almost lends perfectly to how they need to play the second half, doesn't it?
Right, and they just need to clean things up and make sure that they don't give away silly spaces. There was one opportunity at the end that could have easily been a goal, just exposed in a very obvious situation.
Trevor James giving some wise words to his side, a guy who knows a lot about what's going on between the lines. Detroit City off to a fantastic start. 2-0 over New Amsterdam at halftime. The NISA Fall Championship Tournament on BN Sports back at Keyworth Stadium. The standings entering this final match of Group A. Detroit City on their way. They could, given the correct goal differential, end up the top team out of Group A, as they sit just 2 goals behind the Oakland Roots as it stands. But if Detroit City is able to hang on and win, Michigan Stars will be eliminated. Detroit City and Oakland Roots on to the semis out of Group A. Top team will play the second team in Group B, and so on and so forth, the semifinals. They will begin on Wednesday. This is the scores from around Group A as things are complete tonight. Michigan Stars open with a 2-0 win over Detroit City, but City bounced back 2-1 over the Oakland Roots. Really impressive win. Oakland gets the 1-0 victory over Michigan Stars tonight. New Amsterdam on that other side. A 2-2 draw is their lone point, and it would take a big turnaround to get anything else out of this tournament for them this week. The 2020 NISA Fall Championship
group stages come to a close. Group B finishes up tomorrow night. Stats and highlights right around the corner here at halftime. It is Detroit City opening things up. 2 goals in that first half. This is not one of them. However, they'll have plenty more chances in the second. Halftime between Detroit City and New Amsterdam. Our first half stats brought to you by Metro Detroit Chevy Dealers. Well, Detroit City and New Amsterdam even on the shots and shots on net, but it was the class from Detroit City on a couple really good finishes, Andy, that led the way, and we'll see those in just a moment. But they were on the attack nonstop, and we expect them to have plenty more really quality chances. Just by the way New Amsterdam is going to have to play and how they are playing in that first half, and will carry over into the second half. Let's take a look at our first half highlights.
And this is just a simple ball that's misguided away here. Goalkeeper comes out. They're looking for something. So it's clearance off the side of the head. Another poor clearance. Don't know what was happening there. This was an interesting play. I thought initially the foul would be called against New Amsterdam, but forces the goalkeeper into a save on a free kick. Nothing too dangerous there. But this is, Kafari lays the ball off and then just continues his run. Matthews with a great heel there. Kafari puts it off that post, and a great team goal there. That one was well deserved. The other one maybe gifted.
Venegas opened it up with a great volley in the 10th. Kafari in the 14th. They had some other chances, but they will be very happy with the way things went in that first half. It's simple. Detroit City wins, they're in. If it's a draw or New Amsterdam win by 4 or less, then the Michigan Stars are in, which I think at this point they're praying for a draw, if anything.
Right.
And New Amsterdam would have to win by 5 or more, so that would be a 7-goal swing in one of the most insane.
Throw out the third scenario. I mean, the most likely thing that might happen, probably not, is a draw here. But New Amsterdam, to their credit, created some very dangerous opportunities and just couldn't finish. So who knows? You never know. They a little bit more clinical in their finishing, and this game, especially at 2-0, could be dangerous.
Getting set for the second half. Here's our Group B standings. Chattanooga leading the way with 4 points and that +2 in the goal differential. This group wraps things up tomorrow night, but a very similar situation in the sense that anyone could make it through. Obviously, New Amsterdam really was on the back end tonight, but anyone could make it through tomorrow. Chattanooga, Cal United, and LA Force, those two in the middle with 3 points. So some big games coming tomorrow night for Nate Bukaty and Jacob Peterson, who take back the reins. But we've still got one to finish up. New Amsterdam showed a little life, playing for pride. You talked about it, and I'm sure that probably was part of the message at halftime.
Yeah, I mean, there are players that have all sorts of different situations. This is an opportunity for them to show and possibly receive a contract either with their club currently or with a different club possibly. And there's Bello, as you mentioned, coming on, the goal scorer.
Michael Bello hoping to bust a few moves up in this second half and make things interesting. He had a goal last time out. He's a London native. See if he can bring anything off the bench. That New Amsterdam substitution presented by Iria. Mahmoud Kaita also on for Daniel Bedoya. New Amsterdam in the orange, Detroit City in the all white. Here New Amsterdam yelling up.
Right, good pressure from New Amsterdam to force this and just easily see it out. And as you saw McKenzie kind of lead that, he was finding success on the left flank and now finds himself on the right to start in this half, so something to look for.
George Chamakov, Plovdiv, Bulgaria native, is in for Detroit City. That substitution presented by S3 Strategic Staffing Solutions.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of an unknown as to what was going to happen at any given moment at the back line. And after watching New Amsterdam, I'm not sure their goalkeeping depth is their strength, but we'll see if this kid can make a difference.
Bakey Goodman was trying to split the defense and drew the foul, earns the free kick. Venegas over it.
On your right side.
Into the box and tips away. Saw the goalkeeper over here shaking his head.
Yeah, as I mentioned, goalkeeping might not be their strength. I don't want to crush the kid, but just from what I've seen on film, it's a little bit shaky and just misjudges the flight of the ball, the path of the ball, and gets underneath where he wants to high point it just early. And when you get caught jumping off 2 feet instead of being able to run into that high point, it's trouble.
Don't hesitate, Tendai. Don't hesitate. Get it up. Watch your left. Give it.
Chucky, I might add, I've given up some howlers in my day as well, so don't really want to go there.
We had the Thierry Henry conversation in the first game, and I think I saw you in the fetal position in the conference room between games.
Yep. Just sucking my thumb.
Watch your left, Mike.
I'll tell you what, though, you can hang on to the fact that you've been on the same field.
Yeah.
I mean, Thierry Henry scored a goal on you.
Right.
If anything, be proud of yourself.
Yeah, I'm just
you were on that field.
I'm embarrassed I shook his hand after. That's what's embarrassing.
No foul, no corner. Force him back. Watch over. Bang it in. I'm not getting called in. Zaire, that's fucking class, man.
That's better from New Amsterdam. You can hear the encouragement.
I expect better.
Just dangerous opportunity there. McKenzie there with a decisive touch in. Just gets it wrong in the end, but had an idea of exactly what he wanted to do.
At goalkeeper now, instead of Mo Keita for New Amsterdam, it is Aldo Munoz.
It's another numerical advantage from a wide area for New Amsterdam in the box. Just couldn't get the serve right.
Looking across the field, but nothing there. He's looking for James Fillerman. Nice pressure there from Max Todd. And they got it to Carlton McKenzie, who arguably the most creative player on the field as far as a solo standpoint goes. He's been really impressive.
Yeah, he's really been the engine for this team. It's been busy all game long.
We talked about guys playing for contracts, whether it's with this club or with another, but I think one thing is certain, Carlton McKenzie could find a place to play for a number of clubs.
Yeah, just like his energy, down two, knows the odds are stacked against him getting anything out of this, but continues to battle for everything.
McKenzie, one of a few from the UK on the New Amsterdam team. Again, we're at Keyworth Stadium, about 5 miles north of downtown Detroit. Home stadium for Detroit City FC in the NISA Fall Championship Tournament. Last night of Group A plays. Detroit City will move on to the semifinals if they hold not this 2-0 win, but a win in general. Andy Greenebaum and Chucky Kempf along for the call. Appreciate you joining us tonight. Great week of soccer, a lot of soccer in a short amount of time, which we like. I'm sure the players' bodies maybe have other thoughts on it.
Well, yeah, especially game in and game out on turf, it can wear on you a little bit. That low back, you take a knock on it as well.
That takes away kinetic energy. Instead of a fine point versus it. You know what I mean? I'm really stronger than
Second half lacking the rhythm that we saw in the first half, or at least the excitement, the openness, and the chances that we saw in the first half.
Yeah, bit choppy, not too many bouts of possession here yet. Start of the first half was about the same, though.
Yeah. took about 8 or 9 minutes before things got going, and then had the goal in the 10th and the 14th. And even after that, it stayed pretty open for the most part. Chance there, maybe Todd had an option in the middle. Bakey Goodman was making a run at the top of the box. This deflects out of play, and it'll be a corner for Detroit City. So right as we say that, no chances. We get a couple chances and a corner.
And it's simple, though. It's not reading the cues at the back line. As that ball gets whipped in, it's pretty obvious his head goes down. There's not enough cover there from New Amsterdam, and it leads to a corner kick.
Too strong on the cross into the box. Oh, nice move along the sideline. Trying to get some space, taps it inside. Deflected toward the top of the box. New Amsterdam able to clear. McKenzie with some space. Good find in the middle, and the thought was there. He had an option, but nice play defensively to not fall asleep.
Yeah, just the spacing wasn't there to give the defender enough time to think about it, right? He sees the dummy. It's a good idea, but once again, another great ball in. Entry pass from McKenzie leading the charge.
But man, when the dummy works, it is.
Yeah, it's nice.
So it's nice.
When the dummy works, it's nice, but when it doesn't, it hasn't worked for them twice now. Spacing hasn't been there, right? The timing hasn't been there. And also, McKenzie feeds that ball in. He's running. I'd like to see him take a touch and maybe reward him for that run as well.
It's going to roll all the way to the keeper, Jean Anton, who's had a couple saves to make tonight. He's dealt with everything. Maybe not as cleanly as the goalkeeper coach would like, but the clean sheet's still in play.
It's nitpicky. The first one I thought he maybe could have held, and the second one he did. He's done decent off his line, made a couple of key saves as well. This game could have been different. He's made the saves when he's had to.
Nice tackle there, and a clean tackle at that by Tendai Jadida. Looking for options.
Right, instead they go negative. Trying to do too much. Just get the ball, play it.
Ten and a half minutes in the second half, pretty much a stalemate to this point. Michael Bello, not sure what the thought was there, but Detroit City has it now, and long ball intercepted. Played back to the keeper, Aldo Munoz.
You can hear the cry for keep the ball, right? That's exactly what I'm thinking. Just keep the ball, enjoy it a little bit, get some rhythm. On the other side for New Amsterdam, maybe stop the flicks, right? Get control of the ball, find feet. They've done some decent things, but almost hopeful.
Amsterdam, a little pressure here, but cleared by Detroit City. Now Todd settles it, has a chance. Clips it in, but the flag is raised on the far side. Number of offside in this one. Amsterdam really gets that line up there.
Yeah, they're trying to obviously throw numbers forward, keep a high line. Just the details to stay onside and have a look. See how one pass that's a little off leads to another, and then now you're scrambling, fouling instead of keeping possession.
He's maybe going to try to walk this off. Mike Nastu. Yeah, he's right on the shin guard, it looked like.
Right, which might as well be paper usually.
Yeah, looks all right. Detroit City are throwing there. I mean, all in all, Detroit City is fine with the way things are going. Has it been sloppy a little bit? Not really much rhythm in the second half? Absolutely. They're okay with that. They've got the result as they need it right now.
Yeah, as far as the result goes, for sure. I think they even, you can hear it, just keep the ball, right? Keep the ball, have a little bit more composure, have a little bit more quality, and you won't be chasing the game, fouling unnecessarily.
New Amsterdam just would take one to really make things interesting. Michael Bello came on at halftime, but only a few touches for him so far. Headed toward the middle, and it's going to be cleared by New Amsterdam. Dealt with and sent back in by George Kamikoff. Kamikoff heads this one back down the sideline. New Amsterdam looking for some possession here. Throw in for Detroit City. Williams takes it away. He's got McKenzie. And here is McKenzie. Right at the top of the 18-yard box, looking inside, and he's shaking your head. What'd you want there?
Well, you know, it's a great run and perfect weight on the pass as well. I was waiting for McKenzie to take a touch towards goal and try and cut, you know, the center back off, but he lets the ball run across. I get the idea here. You got to take a chance on the other end. I would have liked to see him take a touch there and possibly create on his own like he's been doing and not leave it in the hands of a run to the back stick. He's been so confident one-on-one, right? And the one time he has a chance, he's isolated. He's got pace on the center back there.
Onside there for Max Todd, but headed away. Nice job by Nastu. Here comes New Amsterdam again. Yeah, you really thought that was the chance. If it was going to come, if that goal would come to give them a chance to get back in this, it was going to be right there with McKenzie making something happen.
Yeah, and right when he let it roll across his body without taking a touch, I knew it was kind of done for that moment. But here he is again.
You see it, he's really talented with the ball. That is a nice tackle, though, and a clean one at that.
Little YouTube snake move right there.
Here's Max Todd. Shawn-Claud Lawson. Couldn't quite track that one down. Got a nice touch, but too strong. There's Williams. Williams switches field. Afif back to Williams. Afif again. Headed back toward the keeper. They'll play it to Antone. Free kick given. Venegas cutting in off that right wing. He's trying to get some help up. He's going to get dragged.
Yeah. Take another look. Just both teams kind of possessing, not really meaningful, and eventually ending up running out of ideas and looking for, you know, a long switching pass there, and just clips his foot.
Ooh. Max Todd working hard to keep it in play, but a foul called and a free kick given right along the...
Looked like he had timed that to keep it in bounds clean, but referee sees it differently.
Williams near midfield. Headed back toward the middle. Bello had a chance at it. Williams, heavy touch, loses possession. Good ball there to find Shawn-Claud Lawson, and here he goes. Strong move to carry it through the field. Has Todd, just didn't have the pace on that pass that he wanted.
Yeah, you can't let him turn out there. I mean, if you're New Amsterdam, step somebody in front to win that ball and continue to press. You can see Detroit City just dropping numbers on their back line, which leads to a lot of second balls where New Amsterdam can win the ball up higher and possess from a higher position.
Look at the attention McKenzie draws out there. Every time he has the ball, they send reinforcements.
Yeah, probably a good idea to send two if you can.
Williams trying to win it. Max Todd has a touch on it. And here comes Detroit City, a chance to break. Out in front for Todd. Can he run it down? And some contact on both sides.
He's running full speed, but just doesn't get low enough and kind of gives up on the play.
Looks like it hopped up and got Bello.
Seen a few of those today.
Afif. McKenzie trying to flip it out to Afif, and they'll get a throw in, but Bello trying to hold things up. McKenzie across net, no one's home.
It's a great opportunity, great layoff, good hold-up play.
Detroit City, Ryan Peterson coming in for Max Todd. Detroit City substitution presented by S3 Strategic Staffing Solutions. Max Todd, he was busy.
Yeah, it definitely was. There was one opportunity in the box earlier on. I thought he could have taken a chance, and perhaps that's why he's given a rest now. And also, as I mentioned, just watching the numbers creep back further to the back line for Detroit City. Get some fresh legs, step their lines up a little bit, so New Amsterdam doesn't win that turf war, that territorial battle.
Amsterdam running out of time to play spoiler here. Detroit City still looking for some real goal-scoring opportunities in this second half. Nice layoff there into the box. And the referee sees nothing.
Be nice to take another look at this. It's close.
I actually thought Peterson might have been offside at the beginning of that play.
I thought so too when the initial flick happened. Take another look. Look at him in behind.
Yeah, maybe not. It's hard to tell.
It's that ball there. And yeah, I think at the end he leaves his foot up and clips him, but he's won the ball before that. I don't know. I wouldn't like to have to make that call either.
Don't have the VAR help that a lot of these leagues are getting, like the Premier League across the pond, but a lot of people tell you VAR does not always help that much. There is certainly a debate.
Well, and how they use it, too.
Yeah, it's true.
Now it's to left shoulder. Danny, middle, you see him?
Working on Max Todd on the sideline right now, that left thigh, maybe just getting some ice. He was very active up there.
Right, and so far Peterson's been buzzing around up top as well. Helped to create that last chance.
McKenzie was looking for Bello, but it looked like Bello was way offside.
Right, I thought they were going to flag that as the play went on, but
Bello tried to avoid it, but McKenzie was really upset. He said, hey, man, I need you. Pressure here. How about Shawn-Claud Lawson off the bench? He's an active player, really strong when he's on the ball.
Right, you said it, making an impact, and I really think there's something there for New Amsterdam in this game.
"21 minutes to play plus stoppage time here in the second half as Detroit City looks to become the second team on to the semifinals from Group A.
It's really the first time you've seen ball played into the 9 and laid off. On the ground, at least.
Getting across the middle. Pass seemed like it took forever. Now New Amsterdam takes it away, trying to cut it back across. Oh, great tackle there to take it away from Carlton McKenzie.
Yeah, a bit lazy. Lucky to get away with that again. Just that final pass missing. Look at this, though.
Shawn-Claud Lawson in on net. Nobody to stop him except the keeper. Chips it too strong through the goalpost.
Yeah, once the spacing gets that tight, it can be difficult to execute that, but great timing on the run, good first touch. Ball's bouncing, the idea is there for sure, but that spacing can be difficult as the goalkeeper closes ground. Might have better success trying to round him.
That would have all but sealed it for Detroit City if it's not already, but here's another great opportunity. On the right side, Shawn-Claud Lawson will not miss that one. Tucks it into the left corner, making it 3-0 Detroit City.
Well, it's been sloppy on both ends, but Detroit City's been the only one that's been able to execute and find the back of the net and take advantage of some of these mistakes. So we take another look here. Just another sloppy giveaway. It's happened on both ends, but watch as this ball gets played out. Goalkeeper gets caught lean into the left, bad angle. I mean, so many things happen. I'm not blaming the goalkeeper. I'm just saying there's a lot that went wrong there for New Amsterdam on that goal.
Detroit City has all but booked their spot in the semifinals. A really impressive performance, and they have not had a lot of chances. A couple here late in the second half, but here in the second half, they have not had a ton of chances.
There's been a few of those opportunities for both teams. It's just Detroit City's been the only one that's capitalized on them. New Amsterdam missing that final ball a few times.
Sending it across again. Shawn-Claud Lawson's loving this second half. He's had all kinds of space and opportunities. Amsterdam looking down the sideline. Nothing there. There's Shawn-Claud Lawson. Had a game.
Yeah, he's basically been in the sprinter stance, waiting, and just getting on the end of some of these balls in behind.
It's his second goal of the week. McKenzie toward the back post, really nice ball and into the corner. Bello tucks one in. A great ball from Carlton McKenzie.
Yeah, it starts with the initial ball in. I think too much respect given to the 9. There's players surrounding him. They allow him to just turn kind of easily. The outside back doesn't shift in far enough as well. So that layoff late there. And then just a great ball in, finally. That final ball we've been talking about in a class finish from Bello. But I thought the center backs could have handled that a little bit cleaner.
Still a 2-goal difference.
Just that entry ball. I think there's just a chance there to go, maybe double down, but really just kind of casual here from everybody. You're up 3.
Williams. Maybe some new life here from New Amsterdam as they look for a late push.
I mean, they really had, that was coming. They've had moments.
Williams. Long ball into the box. This is a little dangerous. Nice job by Anton, the keeper.
Yeah, good high point from Anton there, commanding his area.
Free kick for Detroit City. It's Cyrus Sadie from Liberia.
Yeah, we've seen a few of those today. Just players toppling over, winning that free kick. Must feel like the player trying to win the ball that goes over the top, it's got to hurt more, but it always ends up selling it a little bit more to lay on the ground there.
Oh, wow, great touch and poked in. A second for Shawn-Claud Lawson and a great feed from Ryan Peterson.
Just, it's unexplainable how Lawson has this time and space. I mean, it's not rocket science. This is a simple ball played in and laid off. I mean, this comes off just a direct set piece. Right there, to have that player of that caliber drift off your shoulder.
Detroit City, a quick answer. Shawn-Claud Lawson with 2 goals, could easily have had his hat trick already. He tried the chip earlier that went over the crossbar, but he might have another chance. Throw in for New Amsterdam. It's a forward's dream right now, isn't it? The team you're playing has to press forward. You got all the chances in the world.
Right, you know you're going to have those opportunities on the counter, but just making sure you finish it in the back of the net. That's been the difference in this game, because New Amsterdam have had those chances as well.
Max Todd first, and then you talked about Ryan Peterson coming on and also being really active. That's just a position that does a lot for them.
Just couldn't get the timing of those rights. That's what I'm talking about, though. It's been those lazy turnovers on both ends. Just unnecessary.
Well, Detroit City, back-to-back wins is what they're looking at right now after they lost their opening round match 2-0 to the Michigan Stars on Monday. The 2-1 win over Oakland on Thursday, really impressive. And then tonight, dominant 4-1 scoreline as it stands. Could still find their way to that top spot. If they can put another goal in, they could end up with the top spot in Group A. So still something to play for Detroit City. Afif cleared away. Group B back in action tomorrow. And the semifinals begin on Wednesday. Williams with a nice play in the middle of the field to win possession.
Yeah, a bit fortunate there, though. The spacing wasn't there. Waited too long to play the ball. Not a ton of movement that isn't in behind the back line from New Amsterdam. Not a ton of movement to find dangerous pockets and try and break Detroit City down in a different way.
Final 10 minutes. Venegas went down for a moment there. He had the first one tonight in the 10th minute. Opened the scoring. They connected 4 minutes later. Kafari. And then 2 for Shawn-Claud Lawson in the 71st and the 76th. Lone goal for New Amsterdam. Cut it to 3-1. It was the 74th minute. Michael Bello off a great cross from Carlton McKenzie. We talked a lot about him tonight, the Birmingham United Kingdom native. Played at Seton Hall. Fillerman crosses it in, headed away. Nadonner. Here's Nadonner again. Eight minutes and change left in this one.
Kenzie just trying to get back on the ball, checking in that pocket, ending up right in front of the back line. Just trying to get on the ball again, though.
McKenzie. An option on the outside. Wanted to drive it in himself, and it'll be a throw.
I mean, there's no one in the box, though. There's one player, 3 defenders.
I almost think just take that one defender on in front of you or just lay it off. And
I don't know what it's like to make that many runs, so I can't speak for the man, but I know I'd be off in an ice bath somewhere, so.
Sebastian Kapozuki coming in for the first goal scorer, Venegas. Detroit City substitution presented by S3 Strategic Staffing Solutions. Successful night for Venegas, all in all.
Took his chance well. Got forward.
No service. It's okay. Defend it.
Free kick for New Amsterdam.
I need two. In the box, Mikey. I need two.
This be in swinger, that space right in front of the 6 and the near post, very dangerous. We talked about framing the goal.
Headed in. Another one for New Amsterdam. And although the final scoreline will probably still be a Detroit City victory, that does hurt their chances at a top spot in this group.
Goalkeeper gets caught in no man's land, but no one's marking him either. Nobody's marking him. Free header. Just not how you want to see out the game. You've built a lead, but just been exposed in some areas.
Michael Bello again in the 85th this time. He's got 2 off the bench for New Amsterdam, 3 on the week for Bello. Detroit City looking to get another one back quickly. Flag is up, offside on that deflection.
Yeah, that's what happened the last time, but that man taking a couple out of the air very well. Leaving no doubt about it, but free. Just, once again, just a mistake that can't happen.
Handball off that settle on the far side. All in all, a spirited effort from New Amsterdam tonight, but in the end, it's just Detroit City, too much class.
Well, I think they've, feasted off a few mistakes that New Amsterdam have made themselves at the back, and you take away a few of those, this is a different game.
Trevor James, the head coach for Detroit City. You talk about a guy who has been around. I mentioned at the beginning of our broadcast, he's been to some of the biggest clubs in Europe in some form. A lot of coaching experience in the MLS. Some interim head coaching experience in the MLS as well. I have to think Detroit City and these players have to be thrilled to have him to learn from, a guy who's been around some of the top players in the world.
Right, I mean, for sure that experience is very valuable. I mean, some of the best coaches I've ever played for just can offer so much to you as a player, not only just from a tactical standpoint, helping you see the game like you've never seen it, but also just they know how to manage players. They know how to give you confidence when you need it. Little things like that matter.
Not much on that header, an easy save for Aldo Muñez. Pair of goals in the first half and second half for Detroit City. Couple in on Mo Keita and 2 in on Aldo Muñez. 3 minutes to play plus stoppage time, which I don't think that'll be a big total. I haven't had a lot of stoppages here in this second half. Here's Bello. Amsterdam got to go quickly if they want anything out of this match. Throw in for Detroit City. There's Carlton McKenzie. Really impressive player for New Amsterdam. Their biggest chance creator. Not afraid to take defenders on one-on-one. He's shown off that fancy footwork that he has. Nice delivery on their first goal. What's impressed you most about Detroit City, though, in this 4-2 scoreline we have right now?
Well, I think in the end, I mean, they've had some class moments. You know, they've shown that as a team, they can be well organized. I think they've gotten a little bit complacent in seeing this game out, and you know, sometimes you can get lulled into those moments, but the amount of leadership that they seem to have, you would think that you'd be able to see this match out a little bit cleaner than they have.
Another chance for New Amsterdam, and who knows? This thing finds the back of the net. We could really have an interesting finish. Toward the back post, punched. Bello tracking it. Bello does a nice job to win it there in the corner, and hopefully he can get a corner, but a great tackle, and Detroit City back in possession as they avoid a tough spot there on that corner.
Yeah, that time Kafari was glued to Bello, with him the whole way, didn't leave him. Guy heads home a couple goals, you're gonna want to pay a little bit more attention.
Amsterdam looking for one last opportunity down the field. Takes a bounce into the box. Maybe some miscommunication there. Bello wanted it, but here was Williams stepping in front, taking charge. And we've got 3 minutes of stoppage time, brought to you by Fruit Street.
It is amazing how many balls just simple over the top have caused problems in these games. Just, you see the cue, he puts his head on, you know it's coming, and you're just a step late to deal with it. But yeah, that miscommunication.
Couple minutes remain of stoppage time. Detroit City, a little scare from New Amsterdam, but not quite enough in the tank.
Great individual effort there from Peterson, though. Those little things that don't show up on the stat sheet, but just bring life to your club.
Shawn-Claud Lawson fouled, and that's a yellow card shown. As Nadonner picks up the yellow card, Shawn-Claud Lawson has been a problem for New Amsterdam since coming on in the second half. Pair of goals.
Yeah, as you said, could have had more.
Yeah.
Found himself in dangerous areas off these counters. Dropping deeper here to get on the ball.
Tuck, Michael. Good, push back, good, it's fine.
1 minute to play here at Keyworth Stadium.
Michael behind, side tight. Michael, drop in. Going back, drop in.
Detroit City content to let this time tick. There will be a foul and one last opportunity potentially. We'll see if they just kind of tap it over or if they actually go for this, but will be one of the final kicks, if not the final kick of the match.
Yeah, it may just play short, see it out. May not even have an opportunity at all, but it's a good little bit of individual effort there to earn this.
Shawn-Claud Lawson over, and they will just play this short, it looks like. And there it is, the final whistle. Detroit City earns the victory 4-2 over New Amsterdam, and Detroit City on to the semifinals of the NISA Fall Championship Tournament. Shawn-Claud Lawson nets 2 goals, 4 shots, 2 of those on goal. Both of them found the back of the net. He is our man of the match coming on in the second half, and a huge impact off the bench.
That's what you want your 9 to do, right, is put the ball in the back of the net, and he just found himself on the great end of some opportunities with his movement, taking these opportunities. Just a bad angle there, but great finish. Puts it right in the side netting. Take another look. Takes that well.
3 goals on the week for Shawn-Claud Lawson.
And here's the one he just creates. He just drifts off the defender's shoulder, and the ball falls perfectly to him. Little chest pass there and just taps it home. Great finish.
Ryan Peterson going up and attacking that ball and giving Shawn-Claud Lawson an opportunity. As Detroit City sees it through, they controlled their own destiny. They watched what happened in that first game. Michigan Stars could only sit and watch, and their rivals effectively see them out of the tournament, as Detroit City and the Oakland Roots are the 2 teams on to the semifinals from Group A. Trevor James and company looking to make a run here. The winner of this fall championship tournament plays the winner of the spring for a chance in the U.S. Open Cup. Take a look at our final stats presented by the Foosball Project. 11 shots to 12. New Amsterdam actually more shots, 1 less on net for them, a few corners apiece. But Detroit City in the end, the most important stat line is the goals. They double up New Amsterdam 4-2 to finish things off. Detroit City, it will be a tough out down the road. These are our games tomorrow. Chattanooga and Cal United Strikers. That's at 4:55 Eastern. Followed by New York Cosmos and LA Force at 7:55 Eastern. Nate Bucati and Jacob Peterson will have the call. My partner, Andy Greenebaum, it's been a fun night. Thank you for joining us. For our producer, director Kevin Shank, and our entire crew, we thank you for joining us for the NISA Fall Championship Tournament. Group B finishes up tomorrow. The semifinals on Wednesday. What a night! Detroit City and the Oakland Roots on to the semifinals. Detroit City 4, New Amsterdam 2.